A calm and quiet slice of paradise was certainly not what I was expecting when I came to Ibiza. Hi there, my name is Kevin and I make honest, unsponsored, and to the point narrated video tours about resorts and flights all over the world. This is episode number 106, coming to you today from the Iberostar Selection in Ibiza. I've definitely got some thoughts to share, so please stick around. Welcome to Ibiza, which for part of my audience is likely a familiar place, but I reckon for the majority of my subscribers, it's little more than a place associated with late nights, partying, and general debauchery. That is, as you may have guessed by now, not entirely true. If you'd like to know the exact rate that I paid for my stay, my next 5 videos in queue, or have a link to all of my travel gear, please check out the description below. This channel is as much a learning process for me as it is for anyone that could be possibly watching and discovering a new brand or location, and that's why this video is being posted way out of order. Tourism on the coasts and islands of Spain has always been intriguing to me. Spain's beaches are for much of Europe what the Caribbean is for North Americans, and I want to explore it more. But let's be real for a second, I need to make sure that big chunks of time and money are invested into sustainable ways for the channel's longevity. So I wanted to just see how this video performs before I book an empty trip that I have at the end of the year. Empty meaning I have the starting and ending flights already, but nothing in between booked yet. Check-in is done in the bright and fresh lobby where you'll be offered a glass of cava before the friendly receptionist will explain the lay of the land to you. So today we're at an Iberostar property, specifically an Iberostar Selection. Iberostar is a family-owned hotel group based in Majorca with over 100 properties spread across 15 countries. Those numbers do sound familiar to me though, as I've also got over 100 videos published on this channel and have filmed content in over 15 countries. I may be biased, but my suggestion is to give this video a big thumbs up and then subscribe so that you can check out the rest of the videos. A link to my new Patreon is also in the description below. A big thank you in advance. As we walk along the side street of the hotel to the Shoreline, let's get back to Iberostar. They are one of the many Spanish hotel brands which have been on my radar for a while. The Selection moniker refers to their more premium experiences, and this particular resort is adults only. As I try to do in all of my reviews, I'm going to do my best to review it from the perspective of someone who might actually visit. From the rooms, to the service, to the lounging areas, to the food. Resorts in this part of the world provide a very different experience from the likes of Bali or Cancun. But different doesn't necessarily mean better or worse. The guests here, the vast majority of them European, as you'd expect, simply have different priorities for their vacation, and the resorts here reflect that. To put tourism in this area into a little bit of perspective, the week that I was here in August, Ibiza had a daily average of around 180 flights per day. That same week, neighboring Palma de Majorca had over 400 flights per day. To compare that, let's talk about Cancun. They had 330 flights per day. Phuket, just 80. The tourism market here is massive. In front of us, we can see the Sagarmasa beach, located just to the side of the hotel. Located just to the east of mainland Spain in the Mediterranean, Ibiza is part of the Balearic Islands, consisting of Menorca, Palma de Majorca, and Ibiza. Our hotel is around a 30-minute drive from the airport, located on the northeast coast of the island where the pace is a bit slower than in the town center. This hotel was originally built in 1971, but was completely gut renovated recently, and every inch of the property, including its 229 admittedly small guest rooms, feel fully up to date. Now we're walking from the beachside through the lower level of the hotel. On this level, we'll find one of the hotel's lounges, as well as a bar that's open in the evening, a spa, and the fitness center. I think one thing that surprised me the most about Ibiza is how quiet it could be. Yes, it's known as a legendary party island, and it is that. But there are hundreds of hotels dotted around the island which cater to a much more laid-back traveler who may enjoy a few late nights on the town, but want to come back to a calm and collected resort during the day. One of the reasons that these islands are of more interest to me recently, and perhaps to the interest of more Americans in general, is because there's now finally a non-stop link between the US and the region. A few months ago, United launched a nonstop flight from Newark to Palma de Mallorca. Now, out of the 800 or so flights to these 3 islands every day, there is precisely 1 to the US. Of course, many travelers may connect on their way here, but the nonstop flight is an outsized update, and that attracted a lot of attention. On the ground floor, there are a number of rooms that open directly to this lounging area, which is for their exclusive use. As we walk up to the bar, let me mention that there is another exclusive use area on the roof of the resort. It spans essentially the entire roof, and there's a pool and multiple lounging areas up there. And that's essentially what they consider their club level. Entrance was strict, and if I was here for an extended stay, I think it might be worth the extra money. The chill-out bar area opens from 7:30 until midnight nightly, and you will see a portion of the menu here, excluding the wine list. The hotel has multiple packages available when booking. I myself chose a half-board option that included breakfast and dinner. Many guests had an all-inclusive option. The included options are indicated on the menu, and for their top shelf items, all-inclusive guests get a 50% discount on the price. The all-inclusive package covers what I'd consider standard and mid-shelf bottles. Below us is the primary pool area, which is accessible to all guests. Being an adult-only property, every common space in the resort is in some way utilized as a bar or lounge at some point throughout the day. It's worth noting that bar hours and meal times are more structured and later here than most North Americans would expect. When you check in, you'll be assigned a breakfast and dinner 1-hour entry window, which can be changed to suit your preferences. Breakfast opened at 8 o'clock and dinner at 7:30, which is actually pretty early for these parts and a pleasant surprise. As we walk down to the shore, we can see my only real disappointment with the resort. This platform was, and supposedly will be again, the location of the Origin Beach Sol, which to my knowledge was not part of the resort per se, but was a fully decked out beach club of sorts with a full service restaurant. If you dig through the hotel's photos, you can see it in the background in some of them. According to the beach club's website, they are quote unquote opening soon. I think it goes without saying that these islands are not known for their white sandy beaches, or anything of the sort. But that's not to say that it's not stunningly beautiful in just about every direction anyway. Here's a peek at the pool in the early morning. This is also the spot where you'll get all of your drinks before the other lounges and bars open. One thing to note about tourism in this part of the world is how seasonal it is. To a varying degree, hotels in the holiday destinations throughout Spain are only open for part of the year, when the weather is at its hottest. While most resorts in the Canary Islands or Andalusia are open year-round, on Palma de Mallorca, around 50% of the hotels close for half the year. In Ibiza, that number raises to around 80%, which means 2 things. First, the shoulder seasons, meaning around May and September, are often a third of the price of the peak summer season. Secondly, you need to keep in mind that all of the businesses here need to bring in enough revenue in those 6 months that they're open to stay afloat. So hotel prices during the peak summer months do not come cheap. Alright, next up, let's check out my room for this day, which was a standard double room. Note that when I booked, I made a note requesting a higher floor and received the 4th floor, which was the highest non-club level floor. As I walked to the room, very quickly one thing I didn't like about the hotel were the elevators. Since the 5th floor was keycard access only, but only one of the 3 elevators went up there, each of the 3 elevators had their own call button. Half of the guests looked at the floor indicated and called the elevator that seemed closest to them. The other half just called all 3 of them. So not only did it take a while for the elevator to arrive, but you'd often stop on every floor with no one actually getting on. There's no hiding the fact that these rooms here are tiny, but this goes along with trying to see the resort through the targeted guest's eyes. By the way, one pet peeve, there's no secondary security lock and I couldn't figure out what that privacy button actually did. And the AC could have been a little bit stronger, but it was battling a heat wave with high temperatures in the high 90s or around 36 Celsius. I don't rely on online reviews for all that much when searching hotels, but I do think that they can show you the priorities of the guests that stay here. Before writing this, I scanned around 100 reviews, and only 4 of them mention the room size, but they were still positive reviews, so I'm not going to knock them too much for the size of the room. If you're of the mindset that hotel rooms are for sleeping and showering, then these rooms will be a-okay. Iberostar advertises itself as the first Spanish hotel chain to completely discontinue the use of any single-use plastics, and they also have a major push towards only using sustainably sourced seafood. The lack of plastics can be seen in a few places in the room. First, there's a glass carafe, which can be filled at filtered stations near the elevator. The keycards are actually the first that I've ever seen made of a sturdy paper material, and the toiletries are all in bulk, tamper-proof containers. And sorry for the many lights in the room that are either off or are flickering. LED light bulbs might be friendly for the environment, but not so much for filming. There was a decent-sized closet and an oversized walk-in shower. My only complaint about the bathroom is that during the day, it absolutely bakes in here. Since there's no AC vent inside, I kept the bathroom door closed to cool the room better. The trade-off being obvious with that giant window in the shower. Behind the curtains is a large picture window, which I appreciate being clean, a constant battle in a climate like this, which led out to a decent-sized balcony. Depending on your own preferences, you may want to request a room on this side if you value peace and quiet, as the other side overlooks the pool and the bar. But keep in mind that the rooms on the other side would overall be cooler throughout the day. And last but not least, I almost forgot, well actually I did forget when I was filming, there's a toilet room located just inside the main door. When I was checking in was the first time that I learned that a buffet was the only option for dinner. I was disappointed. Not only do I not really want to eat 2 buffets per day, but sometimes it just doesn't make for great content. Well, hold your judgment, because the buffets here blew my expectations out of the water. For a hotel of this size, I'd normally expect a 13 to 14 minute video. This one is over 18 simply because of the 2 buffets. By the way, if you have a half board option, you can choose to have lunch instead of dinner. In addition to all the prepared dishes on display, there were also various cook-to-order options available, including a protein station, pasta station, stir-fries, and even a raclette-like station. I think it's safe to say that everyone, no matter the preferences, would be very happy with this spread. At dinner time, they request a smart dress code. I got away with my flip-flops, but I'd say just barely. There is even an entire leg of beef, something that I've personally never seen at a buffet and wouldn't expect anywhere outside of, let's say, Vegas. There was also enough cheese on display to open up their own Zaybars. The desserts overall were good and plentiful, the lemon pie being my personal choice. One benefit of the sun setting so late is that you can fully enjoy your dinner and then enjoy the sunset after. This was actually my favorite time at this resort. Everyone was just relaxed, either at dinner or watching the sunset with a glass of cava in hand. The view of the sunrise from my balcony the next morning, also quite the sight. If you enjoy quiet mornings, then Ibiza is really the place for you, since nothing really comes to life until 10 or 11 or 12. Last up, we've got the breakfast buffet the next morning. Much needed coffee was better than expected, and the buffet spread was comprehensive. And to be honest, any buffet on earth with a full tortilla station is going to get full marks from me. Putting this many padron peppers in front of me is honestly a little bit dangerous. Alright, so as we head to the flip-flop score, what are we thinking? Overall, I was pleasantly surprised by this and the other resorts that I stayed at in Ibiza. Points were lost for the size of the room, the closed beach club, and the lack of amenities in the room. But the service was good, the scenery beautiful, and the food worthy of endless praise really. I look forward to many more Spanish resort towns to come. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe so that you can catch my other Ibiza videos when they come out. Or my next video to come out, flying from Barcelona to Madrid on board an Air Europa Dreamliner.